glorious day. Welcome to Althea. It is time to begin this glorious day, at least here at Althea. My name is Rick Kitzman. I'll be running through the announcements here, so welcome to everyone. I always like, whenever I do announcements, to describe the holidays on this particular Sunday. And so today is also National Coffee Day, which is really kind of every day for me. And then that also means that it is National Biscotti Day. And by extension, it's National Starbucks Day. I don't know about that. But it's also National Goose Day. So goose as in the squawking kind. Apparently geese were used as forms of money during Michaelmas, and so it's National Goose Day. So there you have it. Every Sunday after the service, this is every Sunday, we have prayer partners. This center was founded on affirmative prayer from our founders, and so we extend that service. And Kindara, your prayer partner today? So Kindara is the prayer partner today. So after service in Darwin's Den, which is just this way before you get into the dining room, it's a wonderful little room. That's where Kindara will be. And if you are in need of a powerful prayer, see Kindara. She's terrific. What else? There's also prayer requests, I believe, in front of you on the backs of some of the chairs. You can fill one out. You can put it in the donation basket when we get to that point, or you can give it to me or one of the people who are volunteering here today, and that will take care of it. So you can also fill one out online at our website, a prayer request. So take advantage of that. We're working to grow our membership, and so the process has been streamlined. It's very simple. You can see one of the board members or Rick. Where's Rick? Ricky. Anyone will be able to get you information for that. You can also see, of course, Reverend Christina, and she'll point you in the right direction if you have an interest in joining. Today at 12:30, there's going to be a gong bath with Greg Wilkins, who is also going to be providing service today during the service. This will be in the sanctuary here. It's a terrific way to promote deep relaxation and healing, and we're going to get a taste of that during the service today. Tickets are $25. Don't miss this unique opportunity. It's truly exciting and soothing. We are also offering what we're calling conscious conversations after the service. Bob, are you leading that? Or Reverend Christina, you're going to be? Okay. So Reverend Christina will be leading conscious conversations around 12:30, and that will be an extenuation of just exploring spirituality for the day. If you want to dive deeper into perhaps the theme of today, or to something that's happening in the world or in your heart. So that begins at noon and runs till 12:45. Sorry, I think I said 12:30. From noon to 12:45. And everyone is welcome. I think that's it. What's next? What is? Welcome to all of the people who are not here, but who are in that nebulous world online. And so you can visit us on YouTube. We have our channel, our own channel. Althea Center is the channel. Sunday services are also live streamed on Facebook. What else? That's it? Okay. Althea TV. It's actually pretty cool. So check us out there if you're unable to meet it. And welcome to all those out there who are watching us online. Your presence is very important, and we're very, very glad for it. All right. I think my work here is done.
Thank you, Rick. Good morning. Welcome to Althea. Welcome to our beautiful space. It is a non-denominational spiritual center. It's great to see new people and people that return. We celebrate all faiths, all religious beliefs, even those that may be searching for a faith or looking for something deeper within. This building was created over 100 years ago, steeped in oneness, affirmative prayer, manifestation, and meditation. We celebrate all dichotomies, all love, all color. There is a oneness here. There's a field of energy. And I will go deeper into that field of energy. But first, I'd like for us to take a moment, and a moment of silence if you're willing, to take a deep breath, and let's send love to our fellow countrymen on the East Coast, where there's flood waters and people are uncomfortable with no power and looking for loved ones. Let's just take a moment. Can you do something for like 1 minute? And let's just send love. Just a moment of silence. And open up your heart. And imagine a map of the United States. And just, even in your mind's eye, chant the word love to that area, from Florida to the Appalachians, North and South Carolina, Tennessee, that whole area, send it love. And knowing that Spirit is protecting them and giving those comfort where they are uncomfortable. And blessing all the first responders, all the animals, and all the land, and those looking for loved ones. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Continue to send them love as Gaia is changing. But now, I'd like to welcome any first-timers. Anyone online, on Facebook, you could put in it's the first time you're watching us, or anyone in the room that's a first-timer. We have one in the back. Thank you. Welcome here. And anyone that's shy, you can talk to me later. We also have some community gathering where we have, I saw crackers. There's a pumpkin pie. Thank you, Michael. Thank you all who always bring treats. I saw some fruit bars, and there's coffee and tea. You may join us after the service and come meet with everyone. And now, the lovely Kendara will be praying us in. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. How do I turn this? Okay, what's that? Good morning, everybody. Let's just get quiet for a moment and close our eyes and connect with Spirit. And take a deep breath in and let anything out which no longer serves you. And as we connect with Spirit, we realize Spirit, God is the source of all that is. Kindness, strength, wisdom. And because we are cells in the body of God, in the body of Spirit, we also have the knowledge, wisdom to take care of the things, to release that which no longer serves us, and the faith to know that it is so. And so we give thanks that all our prayers are being answered, that anything that looks like an obstacle is simply illusion. And we fill this with light, we fill this with love, and we release it. And with gratitude we say, and so it is. Amen.
morning, everyone. Good morning. Better? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, another person to welcome you here. Please, if you are able, stand up. And I'm inviting you to join us in Althea's statement of being. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. The one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. We are individualized expressions of God and are ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are a face of God. You are a face of love. I hold you in my heart. We are a family. You are the face of God.
Thank you, Linda. Our featured guest is Greg Wilkins. He is here once a month doing his beautiful gong bath. I purposely chose him this week because we're going to do a little meditating for today. Greg is a sound practitioner, a sono alchemist. I love that, sono alchemist, who has been working with healing power, vibration, and sound for over 30 years. His unique blend of pastel earth gong and traditional sacred sound instruments, Greg creates a powerful transformative experience through sound. His background comes from Chicago Musical College, studies in sonology at the State Institute of Sonorology in the Netherlands. Greg has a deep understanding of psychological and the physiological effects of sound on the body. Wonderful souls, please welcome back Greg Wilkins.
Our first reading for the day is from Jen Fedorowicz, an energy healer and coach. Are you aware that you are alive during the greatest awakening on our planet? Some might disagree and say it feels like the worst time to be living on Earth. There is divisiveness, I believe, war, and so much negativity. But in fact, there is a great shift happening, and in the midst of the discomfort, much of humanity is awakening. Awakening is coming into the understanding or realizing that you are so much more than a third-dimensional physical human. Our second reading is from Rod Serling, an American screenwriter, television producer, and creator of Twilight Zone. There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. No, just kidding.
That was perfect. Thank you. He stole my line. How many of you feel like you're in the Twilight Zone? Yeah. We're in a new zone of consciousness. I remember watching the old reruns when I was about 10 years old. I was not around when Rod Serling came out, but he came up with this idea of the Twilight Zone. He created it. He wrote it. He produced it. Rod Serling was into what they call now New Thought. This is a New Thought Center. He was showing us metaphysics on the world stage without people knowing about it. And when they tried to recreate it, they couldn't because a corporation took over it. And they tried to dull it down. So I find this man very interesting, that he found a way to talk about meditation and other dimensions without people knowing it. I believe he could tap into people's subconsciousness. So we're rounding out here at Althea the splendor of surrender in September. You won't hear that again probably till next year. I just love that. I didn't come up with it by myself. That was spirit. And we started with surrendering people, energies, things that don't support us, and that it's okay for our love, for our preservation, and then leading into surrendering into new possibilities and taking new roads and new choices. We're in a great time. A total stranger, and I didn't know I was doing this, asked me what I was smiling for. I was in the grocery store, minding my business, and I was smiling. I didn't know it. He's like, well, what are you so happy about? And then I laughed, and I didn't mean to. It came out of me. And I was like, I'm alive. And when I thought about it, I was smiling because it doesn't feel like fall yet. In Colorado, it's like 90, and I was just laughing. And when I really thought about it, I was laughing how great spirit is, universal force, that we make up a decision that, okay, it's fall equinox and the leaves are changing, so now the weather has to do this. Isn't that funny? I saw a post on social media that said, would someone tell God that it's fall? Because LA was 105. And I was like, we got to surrender even now, telling spirit what season it is. Have you noticed? Gaia is speaking. You see that hurricane? That's Gaia. Some people are getting into the politics and global warming, and some people it's not. Does it really matter when you have about 10 feet of water in your house? No. We got to surrender of how things are supposed to look and how things are supposed to be, and making these statements of what nature is supposed to do. I got news for y'all. Nature's going to tell us what to do. We don't get to do that anymore. We're in a new dimension. And why I'm bringing this up about new dimensions, I even said I had to dial back with some people. Greg and I were just talking about woo-woo. And I'm like, we gotta stop saying the word woo-woo when we're talking new thought or crystals or incense or even meditation. You know, all that stuff, it's normal. That's normal. Meditation and prayer is normal. That's not woo-woo. And dimensions, scientists are talking about dimensions. A lot of people don't know that in 2020, ChatGPT, the AI juggernaut, was launched. During the shutdown, a lot of things, cryptocurrencies, took off during the shutdown. That was 2020. A shaman told me we went through a portal in 2020. I believe it, because I had moments of losing a sense of time and space. A friend of mine recently told me it felt like they slept for like 6 minutes, but it was longer. How many of you are starting to experience timelessness? Like you don't know what day it is? And it's not, don't think because you're getting old. No, it's not that. Like what day it is and what energy it is. That it doesn't feel like, today does not feel like whatever Sunday would feel to me. I woke up with energy, because I always loved Saturday, like it was a Saturday morning. I woke up all peppy and energetic, which is awesome. But we're in a new dimension. A lot of people don't know a lot of things. New satellites, new technologies were all released in 2020 when we were on lockdown. Now, I personally believe our government, here I say, I'm going to slip and say it, is woo-woo. If you look at our money, there's all kind of Egyptian symbols on it. Washington, D.C. is in the constellation of Virgo, where every statue is. You can Google this. I'm not making any of this up. Greg Brayton talks about new dimensions. Barbara Max Hubbard, who passed away in 2022, talked about the new earth. I got to see her 10 years ago at another center, and said around 2020, we're going through a new dimension. NASA, I used to work with people in NASA. We went through a photon belt. The entire earth went through another place in the galaxy. So a lot happened when we were playing video games and binge watching Netflix. There's a lot of energy going on. And some of it we don't know about and some of it we do. But another thing that is shifting, people are waking up. Now with new dimensions and a new earth, the old has to go away. I say a lot lately, the shift has hit the fan. Nostradamus, Edgar Cayce, even the women that founded this center were very intuitive, as we all are, connected to the divine, that one source. And I believe people that started the New Thought, New Age movement, non-denominational centers, some of them were started in the 1600s. Edward Swedenborg, he did it in secret because the Catholic Church didn't want him to do it. They were talking about the time we're in now. We're in a new dimension, a new age of peace. The fifth world will be ushered into the world. Hopi prophecy. Everything the Hopi's been talking about is happening now. They even predicted the Alaskan pipeline when I've read these books. Black Elk Speaks, you could buy that book, that's amazing, talks about a new world. We are entering a new world. And you know how we know? The old world is dying, and you can always tell. Chaos. Now, we get to hold a higher consciousness, but there is a physical element of chaos. I never want to be one of these spiritual people that tell people, oh, ignore what's going on in the world. We're still human. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. what's going on in the Middle East, in Europe, is very human. But we get to surrender through prayer and meditation or smiling for no reason in the grocery store. And surrender said, I'm doing my work, I'm going to be nice and kind. Even within this political season, I've been listening to people much older than me that I love to listen to, that they've never seen anything, arguments between friends and parties and the splitting of our country. Well, maybe some things have to end for a new beginning. Maybe it's time for us to surrender an old way and step into new ways of being. The way the world's been working, it's been polluting our planet. It makes others wrong for loving someone of the same sex, or makes other people dislike people who look like me, or other people that may look like you. So the old ways have to go away, and we need to surrender to that. Now, I'm not saying lie down and let it go, or, oh my God, the sky is falling. Or I know some other religious beliefs believe this is the end, and that Yeshua ben Joseph is literally coming to pick them up. I don't believe that's happening that way. I believe we're in a metaphysical ascension, and that's in physical form, meaning Yeshua ben Joseph, when he went away for 40 days, or when Buddha went off, or even Gandhi, Kuan Yin, you get to ascend in physical form. That's that higher consciousness. We are stepping into a new world. We're actually ending the old. We're going into a golden age. If you look at history, there was a plague called the bubonic plague. After the plague, after the Dark Ages was what? The Renaissance period. We're stepping into new technologies. Some of you all know, but many of you don't. I worked in the corporate world for over 18 years. I saw cell phones before many of you knew what they were. I saw flip phones before you knew what they were. I have seen things that I still can't talk about until they become disclosed. There's always new technologies. They are doing things in surgeries that they couldn't do, or they said they wouldn't do 6 months ago. Heart surgeries are less invasive. People don't have these long lines. So we're stepping into that. We need to surrender into that. Surrender into a new possibility of peace. I do believe we're headed for peace. However, I do believe the shift may continue to hit the fan. I said at the beginning of the year, buckle up, buttercup. Put your seatbelt on. Put your spiritual seatbelt on. Pray and meditate and find joy. New dimensions of consciousness. Someone asked me, do I feel crystals? I wear crystals. And incense and candles help you raise in consciousness? Yes. You know, science has proven they don't know how they can measure it. But there's many theories that incense, Barbara, we have a beautiful, she burns sage here every morning on Sundays and sets up our gorgeous altar. That sage travels in other dimensions, non-physical. You got to realize we see only like 20%. You know how animals see things, or even babies. As we get older, the human ego gets louder. The Hopi Indians, the Choctaw, the Cherokee, all believe sage and burning of tobacco goes into the other worlds of consciousness. Now, some people might say, well, that's really out there. Well, it seems to be working. How many times you burn a candle, you feel better? Or you might burn an incense or a crystal. You don't know, like some people think it's a rock. Well, Spirit made it. Just like Spirit made gold Gold and roses are the highest frequencies on the planet. So I do feel we are entering a fifth world. Guru Sri Sri Riva Shranka, life has uncertainty, and it's uncertainty which opens new dimensions in life. There is uncertainty, and it's okay. It's okay to have uncertainty and not know. I'm going to share briefly a story of surrender that I had to do to save my own life. In 2014, January, I get a phone call from my mother at 4 a.m. Now you can imagine, your heart starts to jump, you get nervous, you get scared. She's been having memory problems. There's a law called HIPAA. I'm still on the fence if I'm for HIPAA or against it, meaning I can't access your medical records, which is good. I shouldn't access your medical records. However, here's the caveat with HIPAA. When you're the only daughter or a caregiver of a parent, you cannot make them get care. So that's one of the flip sides of where HIPAA hurts. That I couldn't make her go get care, and I knew she had memory problems. She was seeing things, she was forgetting things, she was falling. Signs of dementia. There was nothing I can do. So it's a January morning, 4 in the morning. My husband was at work. And she just starts screaming and yelling. This is not her personality. This is dementia without her being diagnosed. Again, I couldn't answer. And she's just yelling, and her childhood came up. Threats. I didn't even know this person's voice and energy. And I'm just crying and bawling. And I had to hang up because my heart was just hurting. And I felt so stuck. And I go in the backyard with my dog, who came to lick my face when I'm just crying on the floor. And I open up the back door and open up my robe in the cold mountain air of Bailey, Colorado, and said, God, I give Shirley to you. I quit. I can't do this. You gotta fix this. Because it's been months of police calling me that your mom's not well. Well, when doctors say you can't make her go to a doctor, you can't make her get tested because of HIPAA, and you're a caregiver? That's our government. Good side, bad side. I had to surrender. I called my husband. He said, calm down. You need to go back to bed. I went back to bed. I went to work. I thought about going to her house, and something said no. Because I was just in this prayer begging place. I was begging and beseeching, but I'm like, I gotta trust. And I took 10 minutes just to ground myself and meditate. And a voice said, we got this. I was like, ooh, and it was loud. Like, ooh, okay. I go to work, I come home, I get a phone call. Ma'am, this is Littleton Police Department. Your mother took a fall. Now in this moment, I was not scared. I was not nervous. I was actually happy. I felt joy. I'm like, oh, this is going to get taken care of. I'm like, well, is she hurt? They're like, she just tripped. And I hear in the background, she's like, it's like the sidewalk just jumped up and grabbed me. It wasn't she didn't have a scrape. They're like, you want to come down? She's at Littleton Hospital. My husband thought I was crazy because I got excited. I said, Mom's in the hospital. She's fine. Let's go. Because I knew what it was, me surrendering. And I walk in, and the doctor said she has memory issues, high blood pressure. We're going to keep her here. She has no broken bones, saw her, and the dementia, even though it wasn't diagnosed yet, was all over. The nurses like, it's dementia. And I'm her only one, and her sister had passed. Finally, I had support. I think, and my mother said, even though my mom was a former intuitive for the government and taught metaphysical concepts, she had a moment of groundedness and told my husband, I think my daughter got an angel to push me down to get me in the hospital. Who, me? And my husband said, don't you ever tell her you did that in the backyard. I surrendered, and I do believe I entered another dimension. I do. Because what I forgot to tell you, on that still cold morning in January, when I did that with my arms, there was a gust of wind that came through. And there was peace. Again, I had to continue to surrender, because then they told me she needs to be in a home for 30 days. I do not have $10,000, $20,000 sitting around to put my mom in a home. Her lease was almost up, and I didn't want her in a state facility. I didn't know what to do. Guess what I did again? Okay, let's do this again. 3 days in a row, I was putting my arms up. I surrender, because I was the caretaker of my mom. Most of my life, I started working at 14, because my mom did have emotional issues, and my aunt. So I was the adult most of my life. I didn't go to prom. So I was taught to control, be an adult, fix, do this, do that. I never learned to surrender. That was the gift of surrender. And it continued, because where my mom ended up, I said, okay, Spirit, I'm going to affirm and surrender that my mom's new place is a beautiful place close to my home, and it's safe. And she got into a place that's $150,000 a year in Evergreen with a mountain view, and the government paid for it all. And her lease was up, and I had friends that came to help me clear. My husband helped clear all the clutter we didn't know that was there, because that's what happens. The whole time was surrender. And the day she left the planet, there were elk outside her window. She had a mountain view. That's what surrender is. We have to surrender into that other dimension of possibility. And we have access to it 24/7, all the time, in every way, every day. So our wonderful Greg, we're going to do a 2 to 3 minute surrendering meditation. This is the flower of life that is in Althea. And that sacred geometry is everywhere in the world. In Peru, Egypt, stamped all over Washington, D.C. You can see it there. And it is the symbol, the sacred geometry that vibrates at a huge frequency of love, oneness, and light. So if you're willing to get a taste of the gong, which also is connected to other dimensions, we can sit and be and ask Spirit, what's for me in this new time? What's ours to do? And I'll watch the time. Thank you, Greg. Keep going. We take a deep breath and breathe into the sound of oneness, of love. And in our heart, we surrender any worries and cares to that divine source, creator of all. Now, if you're willing, take a breath and ask Source what's mine to surrender to step into this new earth of love and light. Thank you, Greg. And Greg will continue to play if you want to stay in that silence for a bit. He will move on to a different instrument. Surrender to the oneness within and trust and know you are divinely guided and protected. Gently come back. Wiggle a toe or finger. Thank you, Greg. That was a small taste. If you're interested, he is. What time do you start, Greg? 1 o'clock?
12:30.
12:30?
12:30.
Okay, 12:30. Conscious conversations with me to go deeper into our new world is at 12 today in the library back here. Thank you all. And now it's a beautiful time of offering. Thank you all for your time, talent, and treasure. We appreciate all abundance that I know is always flowing in divine circulation. You may also scan the QR code. It will link you to altheacenter.org. And we have a dip jar in the back that takes $10 dips with your credit or debit card, and it lights up like a little Christmas tree. And I also believe in prayer over money. Every time I have a bill to pay, I always say, thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to circulate this money, because it provides also people's jobs. That your money here is used for this building is over 100 years old, and it also helps us do other things in the community as well. So you could take your credit card, your money, your check, or even if you're going to donate online later, just hold it in your heart. You may say this prayer: the universe provides all that I need and all that I give. With great joy, I share in my prosperity, planting seeds for a world I'm helping manifest, and so it is. Amen. Knowing everything that is given is always returned. That is the law of attraction. What you surrender, it will come back to you. It will come back to you double. Well, thank you very, very much. And also, as a side note, one of the offerings that Althea has here is an altar. I think I saw someone putting something on the altar earlier. Knowing that this altar is in this vortex of love and healing, you may always bring something here, even if you have a prayer. Just take it back home. And speaking of prayer, if you have want to meet with a practitioner, can you raise your hand, sweetie? She did the prayer earlier. She can meet with you in Darwin's Den if you want to meet for prayer. And we also have a prayer practitioner in the back that will write down all your prayer requests. We have I can't do my P's right now. What's going on? Anyway, there is the prayer practitioner form that's on the back. You may fill that out, and we will pray over those. I get those prayer requests, and we have a whole practitioner team. So we will hold for you what you may or may not know. And now we have something special to offer. Our vice chair, our vice madam president, Barbara Vale. We're going to talk about sacred volunteer work. We used to have lunches here afterwards, and I like to slowly bring that back, even if it's once a month or once a quarter. But we need volunteers for even the lunches and to help with Sunday service. And it's so important to give, because what you give in time, talent, and treasure, the universe will give back. And now Barbara will share more of that. Thank you, Barbara.
Good morning. So, sacred volunteering, what the heck is that? I kind of didn't really think about that. I mean, I hear volunteering. I know our volunteer coordinator is always talking about, we need help in the kitchen, we need help if you'd like to volunteer, and so forth. But what the heck is volunteering, and then what the heck is spiritual or sacred volunteering? Well, no, we could think of volunteering on one end of the spectrum as something you gotta do. Oh God, all right, I'll do it. Or guilt, I can't do it now, and then you carry that can't home, and or maybe moving up, it's a chance to be with friends. It's a chance to make friendships with people. It might be just a little way to help out. It could be service. That maybe that's your kind of spirituality, is through service. And Christina has talked a lot about this, that I could glean from her talk today, the joy that comes from it and the opportunity that we have. So I want to share with you two examples of my sharing, my volunteering here, that now give me great joy. And one is doing the altar. It started out a number of years ago when Jonathan was our spiritual director here, and he just asked me and a couple of other people, and we had to work out the kinks of putting this altar together, but we gathered some things, and as time went on, it really fed me, and the other people left for whatever reason, and so it ended up being me. And I just feel like honored to be able to do this. It gives me a way to connect with the sacred, with the divine. I put on it the 4 directions, and so I feel the energy of indigenous peoples who have prayed over this land for years and centuries. Yeah, probably centuries, and at least decades, and of course the Brooks sisters and all the people who've come here with divine science. So it's become something that I get to do. I'm just honored to be able to serve in this way. The other example is serving on the board. That started, I've been coming here for almost 30 years, and in the early days when Carl Kopp was here, he'd ask me every once in a while, well, how about you, Barbara? Don't you want to serve on the board? No. No. I was just too busy raising kids as a kind of single mom and, going through a divorce, all that stuff, teaching. It just was too much. So there are times that kind of service is just too much. But I could find myself helping out in other ways. I was able to, I don't know, stay after we had lunch then every day, every Sunday, help put away the food, tidy up the chairs, whatever, or after a class, putting the chairs away. I don't know. It was just little ways of serving that really helped me get to know my fellow friends and who've been my friends now for decades, and meet new people. And it was just, that all came with it. And so that my sense of volunteering really changed. It really opened up, and I was able to surrender and let go of my old thoughts of, oh God, I can't do this. But please God, help me, help me surrender. And that's really helped. I want to mention that, and so then, I didn't finish that little story. So then I did get on the board, and believe me, the first little while was not easy. It took a while for me to get used to it. And, but with the help of my friends and so forth, we soldiered on. And then it became a gift. It became a way for me to not only feel connected to Althea, but also my fellow board members and the greater community. And I felt like this is a service that I'm really enjoying now. So it's gone from, nope, can't do it, to real joy in being able to. And I feel fortunate, very fortunate. So Christina's talk today on surrender, definitely surrendering the old idea of volunteering and coming into that joy, and the ways that you can do it. We all can do it. We all can say, okay, no, I can't help in the kitchen this week, or maybe I can't help in the kitchen, but I can do this. I can do that little thing. It might be helping put the chairs back in after the community connections. It could be, or conversations. It could be just helping in the gardening. It might be a one-shot deal. It might be a kind of thing where, oh, maybe I could help decorate the dining room table with, now that Halloween's coming up, or, just to make it fun, and in that same way, you're getting to know people around you. All right. Just one more thing.
Well, I want you, how long have you been volunteering here?
Well, I've been here,
No,
30
tell 'em.
years, 30 years.
30 years.
Almost.
Yeah.
Okay, 25 and a half.
Or 25.
Or 29 and a half. Okay, I don't know. But I want to point out that next week, Kristen Engelke, our volunteer coordinator, will be holding a meeting for you all to come to and to explore the kinds of ways that you can volunteer here, and your time, talent, and treasure. Ta-da.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. And I will say, I didn't know this, but volunteerism led me to ministry. And it gave me peace when I was in a corporate job that some days I didn't like. And I started as a little girl volunteering. And then in my, I'll say mid-30s, volunteered at a center for over 10, 15 years that led to lifelong friendships, jobs, abundance, knowledge, everything. And it keeps growing. So thank you all. And October 6th is next Sunday. Kristen can share more about that.